Hi, my name is Renee Mohammed, and with me is Sonja Graham.
Hi.
Sonja is training to be a peer support worker right now, and she has also been the recipient of peer support services. So she's gracefully agreed to come and talk about her experience working with a peer support worker. So my first question, Sonja, is that it's just, can you tell me about your experience receiving peer support services?
A very positive one. I don't think I would have gotten through the goals I have gotten through and be where I am today without her.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing the difference that having someone right there with you every step of the way helps in any goal. Just their support. They don't have to have any special talent in that way.
Yeah.
And the fact that they've been through similar experiences, they get it. And just, it's not something you can learn in school.
Cool. So I remember you sharing with me one of your goals that was around riding transit, and one of your challenges with that, and how you told me in quite a bit of detail about how the peer support worker helped you with that.
It was in many little stages.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing was, at my worst, I was at home. I couldn't get out by myself. I'd have to have someone come with me to get out the door.
Yeah.
And she started off by just being outside, waiting for me to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Then she'd be down at the coffee shop a block away.
Yeah.
And eventually we were walking all over my neighborhood. Then we started the buses.
So was it that you had a lot of anxiety about going outside?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And it just seemed, I get really tired over it, really. You know, it might feel horrible.
Yeah.
Maybe I need more sleep before I go out, or maybe I can come up with some other reason to stay home.
Yeah.
And, you know, couldn't really pinpoint it, but it was the anxiety that kept me there. But medications got better, but medication only does so much. So the rest has to come through you.
Yeah.
And she told me of her experiences with it and things that she did, like deep breathing and such, to, you know, take a deep breath. Okay, let's try this. And
Yeah.
you know, there's no such thing as failure if you're trying.
Yeah.
So, which made a big difference, because I mean, I could go with her, go all the way to the bus stop, not actually get on the bus, but she still cheered me on because I got all that way.
And then eventually you did get on the bus.
Yeah.
And how was that?
Well, at first, because I was with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
I felt safer, and I could focus on them, talk with them, rather than what's going on around the bus.
Yeah.
But riding with someone, well, I can't have someone with me all the time. I had to learn how to do that independently.
Yeah.
So she'd be at the next bus stop waiting, and I'd have to get there on my own. So that's where it became a little bit different. And we did it at a time of day where there wouldn't be anyone, like, you know, one or two people on the bus kind of thing, not a busy bus to start with.
Yeah.
And I'd just sit there and breathe and did things like she asked me to do to get through it, to get to the next stop. And then we'd go celebrate, maybe go have a coffee, just walk, talk, tell jokes, anything.
Yeah.
Just to have a little sort of like, oh, we did that. And the next time we'd meet and go further.
Cool. Now you said you did things that she suggested to you while you're on the bus to help you do that journey. What kinds of?
My biggest thing is the more crowded I got on the bus, I couldn't breathe. I felt my throat just close up on me, and I need to get off now.
Right.
So I couldn't really, if she just said if I took my focus off that and onto other things while I rode the bus, it'd be easier.
Yeah.
And she knew I liked doing Sudoku puzzles.
Yeah.
So she said, bring your book with you on the bus. So
Okay.
I'd sit on the bus and I'd do my book, and I'd forget, and I wouldn't even notice how crowded it would get.
Oh.
You know, I just sort of keep an eye, okay, I'm just about at my stop, I'll put the book away. Yeah, oh, it is pretty busy here, but I'm getting off now anyways.
Okay.
And it really helped. But there was times also that you had to stand up. Because as we graduated, like I said in the beginning, there's only maybe one or two other people on the bus. Eventually we were doing rush hour. And
Oh, wow.
yeah. It took a long while to get to that point, and we do things for a longer distance and stuff first, where I meet her at Metrotown from downtown.
Yeah.
And I had to get there on my own by bus, not SkyTrain. No cheating. But yeah, we did all those things first, but then once we got to the super busy buses, she would be on the bus too, but she'd be in the back or I'm in the front or
Okay.
something start. And so she'd be keeping an eye on me, and if I seemed to not be doing very well, she'd come by and, how we doing? You know, we're okay. Okay, you want me to go back there again, or you want to get off now?
Yeah.
And did things gradually.
Okay.
And she got it because she's been through similar stuff herself, so she knows how I feel,
Right.
right? So,
And so that brings me to another question is, you mentioned that she got it. Do you feel like receiving this support from a peer, do you think the fact that she was a peer made a difference?
completely.
Yeah?
I've had some really, really good case managers, counselors, and anything else in my past.
Mhm.
My doctor, he's awesome.
Mhm.
I feel very lucky to have him. But all their stuff is experience. I mean, when I first started, we started going over all my symptoms with my doctor, he didn't know much about mental health. He started taking courses about it to learn more because of me.
Oh, okay.
Told you he was an awesome doctor.
Yeah.
But still, he asks me all the questions, like, well, how does that feel, or what's this? So he can give me a better way of, so it's more like anxiety, or more like depression, or more like this, or,
Yeah.
and how, are you highs or lows, or are you sleeping much, or are you eating much, or what's
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah.
But with a peer support worker, you can skip all that stuff. She has anxiety like me.
Mhm.
She may have other mental illnesses as well, and I may have other mental illnesses, but we have certain ones that we click on.
Yeah.
And even if it's ones that we don't click on, she has the empathy because she's been through a similar experience.
Right.
It's just like someone who's been an alcoholic understands someone who's trying to quit drinking,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if you've been through some sort of horrific accident and someone else comes along and says, well, I went through it, maybe it's that they are an amputee and they're teaching you how you can have a life even though you can't walk now.
Right.
Well, it's the same thing with mental health, and she gets me, and there's no amount of education you can take to get that part. You have to live it.
Yeah. Cool. Another question I had on here was, as a person who's received peer support services, do you have any recommendations for peer support workers or people training to be peer support workers?
Listen, get to know important details about your client.
Mm-hmm.
She, I guess, wrote down things here and there, possibly for her log and everything, but she also wrote down things like, Sonja has 2 sisters, Sonja has a daughter who's this old,
Mm-hmm.
because she has other clients too, and she doesn't want to get me mixed up with anyone else. So she learned different things.
Yeah.
I've talked to others, and there's been others that had a peer support worker who forgot, oh, your mom's passed away? No, it's your dad that's passed away.
Ooh.
And that was really,
That's not really
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
yeah. But most of what I've heard about peer support workers is they're doing a great job, and they've made a big difference in a lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
Same goes with mine. I mean, I ride the bus everywhere. I ride the SkyTrain everywhere on a daily basis.
Yes.
I don't even think about it anymore.
You and I rode the bus together from peer support training over here to do this
Mhm.
interview, and I would never have known that riding the bus was ever a challenge for you.
Mhm.
Like
It isn't anymore.
yeah, so you've
It's-
really
yeah.
overcome that. Yeah. Is there anything that you would like to add that I haven't asked about?
Well, I'm now becoming a peer support worker.
Yes.
And I'm going to be able to give back. And I got a super good role model.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping to be as good as her and helping others in the same capacity. Because although I don't have years of education, I have something to bring to the table that the rest of the team doesn't.
Yeah.
And it's vital.
Cool. One question actually I meant to ask you a little bit earlier on,
Mhm.
but I'll ask now because I've just remembered it. You mentioned that when you were riding the bus and you're feeling very anxious, she suggested that you do different things. So there was the Sudoku. Was there anything else she suggested that was
Focus
helpful?
on things. Focus on the different types of shoes people are wearing or what they're wearing altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Look out the window. Focus on cars. There was one time I was very upset after a group I was at.
Yeah.
And so I'm not really thinking straight, and I quickly got on the bus, and I'm sort of in myself, not really paying attention to the environment at first, but then I realized, oh my God, this bus is super jam-packed.
Oh, okay.
And I'm on an express bus. We've passed the last destination that they stopped for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm stuck here. I can't get off, and I have to survive this somehow.
Yeah.
And I just started remembering things that she said. You got to breathe. So I started taking deep breaths. It'll calm me down to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And then I opened the window to remind myself to keep breathing.
Yeah.
And then I noticed the traffic and started counting the different cars and what color they were.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're trying to keep in your head, well, I got 4 white cars here and 3 blue ones there and a couple of red ones there. And oh, there's another red one, so that makes 3 red ones along with the 4 white ones over there. Next thing you know, I was almost at the bus stop. And time just passed by. And it was just like, I graduated. Called her right away and told her.
Cool.
It just, yeah, it's just, it became really, like, that was so empowering. And it's everything she taught me, nothing that any of the other workers or anything could teach me.